Good morning, everyone. Today, I'd like to share a pound dollar trade for the news. Okay, so if I'm looking for a long-term trend, I'm looking at the daily, which is in a one ball retrace to the downside, and the 4 hour was in a two ball. So it's a sideways market on the 1 hour. And if we come to the 1 hour, we see it was sideways, but there's news to be released at 2 a.m. Eastern, which is a GDP. So you got to trade the news on the lower time frames. So we don't have a long-term trade, but we may have a news trade. So when we looked at this was consolidating over here, but this is a three ball. So we're expecting the price to go up. So that's our expectation on the direction, right? So as you know, we drop it down to the 5 and we got this spike, right? So once we got this spike, this three ball was over here. So we say, okay, how do we trade this? This is the rare occasion that we drop it down to the 1 minute. And on the 1 minute, you see the spike, give an entry, but that's a spike. Then we wait for a retrace. So the first entry would be here. It's a pure 15.51 trade, by the way. The second entry would be here. And the third entry, that would be here. Okay. And we're going to follow this on the 15-minute chart with these entries. We're looking for a quick hit. And look at it on the 15. The 15 didn't really give us a good exit. So we're looking for a quick exit. So maybe on the 5. Let's see what we get. And it hit the daily pivot. So that is where I exited my trades. 10 pips, 22, and 34 pips. So that's the way I traded this news event. So that's the news event, okay? Now, the second part of this is, how do we know if a currency is turning? Means that it was in a down trend. So let's find one on the 4 hour and say, okay, this is the downtrend, and we get a three ball here. So how do we know that this turnaround is going to happen? Okay, let's look at the daily. The daily is also a downtrend, and the weekly is also in a downtrend. So we know the long-term trend is to the downside. But if we look at the H1, the 4 is right there. There's no indication of a turn, right? I better do this. Anchor it properly. So if my trading time frame is the 1 hour, I need the 5 and 15 to give me a long signal after this three ball. Okay, so that's when I know the turn is happening. Otherwise, this could just go up here, come back down, right? So let's go to the 5. And I see the 5 turns over here. And as you know, the first time it breaks for a long-term break, it will come back and test it. So your first entry is to the long side is over here after this retrace, right? Now, what is the 15 doing at this point? The 15 is also trying to turn, and it is a signal. Magenta is not ready, but it's an aggressive entry, right? And then what is the H1 doing at that point? The H1 is in the gray area. It hasn't given a turn signal yet, right? So you can say, okay, this is my first entry going to the upside. And my stop loss is over here. Okay, let's just say we take this one trade. And we follow this on the 1 hour all the way out to here. And that gives us 27 pips. Hey, nothing, right? Come in the next day and we have a formation and we get a long trade. Right? Now we have a 1, 2, 3, and then the 3 ball here, and a 1, 2, 3 to the downside. But we're waiting for it to turn to the long side. And with the daily and weekly not in sync, this is a sideways ranging market. So with a 3 ball down here, you're only taking long trades. This one, this one, this one, and now this one. Okay, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4 trades. So this one would have, that was last week, right? So this one, 1 hour, come on. Okay, so 1 hour is here, doing a 1 and a 2 ball retrace. That's a long. We go to the 5 minute. 5 minute entry is right here, right there. Go to the 1 hour. Mark the entries in a minute. 5 minute entries here. Stop loss is here. And you're going to follow this on the 1 hour till breaks down. That's the end of the day. And that's 52 pips. Now, we're not taking the short, though we could have. So on Tuesday, this was the trade we took, the long trade. Again, we are here. And we are here. Go to the 5 minute. We look for an entry, which would be right there. And the white cross is that. That's the entry. Here's the stop loss. Once again on the 1 hour. And this was end of the day, 45 pips. Again, we're looking for a long. So on Wednesday, we didn't get a trade, right? But on Thursday, you would have gotten a trade. Wednesday, we didn't get a trade because it moved up and then down here. So let's look at the 5. And our entry here. Stop loss is here. And then on the 1 hour, you can take the exit over here. And that would be 78 pips. So 52 and 40, that's 178 pips. And now you're here to today's trade, and that was the 30 pips. So 200 pips this week. They were all 40 lot trades. That's $80,000. Hopefully this helps. If this is the currency of choice, and the 1 hour is not really giving you a trend, which means the daily and weekly are not in sync, right? The weekly is trying to come down, and the daily is trying to go up with the 2-ball retrace, which leads to a formation of the 4 hour like this. So you follow the balls in the direction. In a direction, it's a 3-ball direction. Even if the 3-ball was here, he's still going long. Or you could trade both ways, your choice. So if this 3-ball is here, then you can trade to the downside, and you would get this trade, and this trade. It's your choice. What do you want to do? It's kind of iffy if it's not in trend. Now, something like the euro yen, for example, you look at the daily, clearly bullish, and you look at the weekly, and weekly is bullish for the week. So you know your 4 hours in trend. At that point, it's an easy trade, right? 1, 2, and this can be in multiple days, so multiple trades. And this, I think I calculated this yesterday, it was something like 300 pips total, 40 lots, 120,000 times 20, like $100,000. So anyway, hopefully this is helpful. Thank you. I will record another one after the 8:30 news. Bye.